Hi everyone, welcome back. So a few days ago I did a memorial piece for my mum and dad. Hopefully you saw that video. In that video I added these little photos, and someone asked me if I had a video on how I actually made the heart, which I didn't, because I made it ages ago and I didn't record it. So I thought that's what we will do today, because look what I got. Let's move that aside. Zoom out a bit. So Resiners has sent me a new mold, and it's a love heart. So I'll get it out, excuse the scrunching. So this is called the Togetherness Hand in Hand Silicon Mold, and it's a do-it-yourself kit. And I think this one is the purple one because I got purple flowers that came with it. How cool is that? And I was checking it out actually on their website, and these are on sale at the moment, so you can save $18. So if you think you want to get one of these kits, I've got the link in my description box below, and I've also got a 15% off discount code. So yeah, go and check it out. Look at these beautiful flowers that come with it. So these are the dried pressed flowers. So pretty. And we all know how expensive these are. So yeah, you can save $8 plus my discount if you want them. And I think they're under $20, these kits. So yeah, go and check it out. And look, also you get some really cool tweezers. Love the colour. How awesome is that? But I thought, because my other one had different flowers, so I'm not going to actually use the dried flowers today. I'm going to use the same flowers that I did in this one. And they're actually, where are they? Here's a couple of them here. So they sort of feel, I don't know, I guess they're material, but they sort of feel spongy, like, I don't know, foam or something. Not sure, it's hard to describe. But they're not very thick. They're just like these are just like silk flowers. But yeah, these ones are just a little bit different. So we will be using these ones and a few others. I'm only going to be able to fit, a couple in, but we'll work that out as we get to it. Now just scoot this aside, because the other exciting thing is, look what else we're going to be using or trying out. Can you see what it is? Ta-da! They sent me the Airless Pro bubble removing machine. How cool is that? Except I put I just cut a little round piece of an old silicone mat, and I pop that in the bottom, because I don't actually have, like, if you've got a silicone cake tray, a cake pan, you can use one of those. They're awesome. And look, it came with 10 of these cups. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, so how cool is that? It's always awesome to get cups. I think there was a pair of gloves too. So yeah, we're gonna try this out today. The Airless Pro. I've been wanting to try that out for ages, because as you know, I've got my actual other one up for grabs in the March subscriber giveaway. So if you're not a subscriber, I suggest you subscribe and go and check out my description box with the details for that. So yeah, I'm going to mix up some resin. I actually haven't got any deep pour, because it's a fairly deep mold. So we're going to do this in two or three stages. So the first stage, I'm just going to pour a little layer of clear. But I'm going to pop my resin into the debubbling machine to give it a go. Oh, can't wait, I'm so excited. So I'm just going to make up a little bit of resin just to put a nice layer on the bottom. It's got the hands. I was going to paint the nails, but I'm not sure because we're putting the flowers in, so maybe we'll do something after we've demolded it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So that's the plan. So I'm going to go and make up some resin, and then I'll be back to put it in the debubbler and I'll show you how it works. I've just pulled this out of the mixer, my Resiners jewel mixer. I'm trying to make more bubbles, but I've just put in a spoon of my, or half a spoon of my gold dust. So yeah, I'm just trying to make a few more bubbles. I don't know if you can see that, but there are, yeah, there's lots of micro bubbles. Anyway, so I'm just going to split this up. So I've got 6 ounces, so I'm going to put about 2 in each cup. And you'll see with this new debubbler, it's a lot bigger than the old one. So you can fit in about 3 apparently, so that's what we're doing. So I've got 3 in there. Beautiful. Give my hands another wipe. I don't want to get resin all over my lovely new machine. So I'm going to pop the lid on, and we're going to make sure that our little plug is all done up. Sorry, that light is terrible. Can't zoom it out any further, right? So, got that pushed in. Let's plug it in. Try and get it out of the light of that. I'm going to turn it on, and oops. So you can you press the AI and you can go 5, 10, 15. We'll try 5. That just starts. Well, they're looking pretty clear to me, must say, compared to, because I've got a vacuum chamber, compared to, it took a little bit longer, but it wasn't as noisy. It didn't smoke like my vacuum chamber does, which freaks me out. So it takes up less room and you don't have to put oil in it like you do your vacuum chamber. So these are actually the Resiners Airless Pro. There's $70 off at the moment. They're on sale. So that brings them down even cheaper than vacuum chambers. So might be a good incentive to get one now while there's such, saving. Plus I've got a discount code. So yeah, go and check it out. That looks pretty good to me. So let's give it a little pour. Not sure how much I'll need in our mould. So yeah, I just want a thin coating all on the bottom. So that's our first cup. How's that looking? Pretty good. Will I leave it at that and pour a hippo? Yeah, why not? Actually, no, I won't. So it needs filling up a little bit more. Oh, there's going to be some disappointed people. No hippo. Perfect, yeah, 6 ounces. So I'm going to let that set up and then I'm going to come back, or when it's tacky. So that'll be in about 4 or 5 hours. It'd speed that process up if you had a heat mat. I've got one, but it's just chockers at the moment with little bits and pieces that I've been working on. And it's about 24 degrees here in the studio tonight. Awesome. So yeah, that is just so easy to use. The debubbling machine, you just press one button basically, that's your AI button, and off it goes. So how awesome is that? All right, well, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. So I'm back and I got out my flowers and I sort of roughly arranged them how I think I want them. The only difference is they're going to be upside down. Whereas when I did this one, I was working face up. I couldn't do it with this mold because it's got the hands that are holding, so the front of the mold is on the bottom at the moment. Now I suppose you could if you wanted to. You could have it round the other way, but I thought I'd better do the mold how it is. So ideally I would, if I was doing this, I would use deep pour resin. I just don't have any, so that's why I'm doing it in layers. So I sort of do expect that we'll be getting some bubbles, especially because the flowers are going to be upside down. That's why ideally it's better if you can work the other way around. Plus you can see what you're doing, so it's much easier. So we'll try and put these how I sort of remember how they were. I don't know if I'll use all that, but let me just give this a little bit of a blow because it's got things in it now. So yeah, as you can see from the bottom, that is the front of the mold. So I have only made up 3 ounces because I just want the tips of my flowers and whatnot to set up. I don't want to pour, because with this resin, it's my Tea Expert, my 1:1, I could actually pour it, I think it's just over an inch, might be an inch and a quarter, perhaps, from memory, but I don't want to do that, only because my flower's going to be upside down. I don't want them moving. We're going to try not to trap bubbles. If I made up more resin, I could actually dunk my flowers, but I'm not going to, so we're going to just try it like this. So I've popped my 3 ounces into my Resiners Airless Pro, and it's done a beautiful job getting out the bubbles out of my resin. Just pop a little bit in there as well. Bit of floaty, I think it is. Deal with that in a sec. Find my little dotting tool, which wants to hide from me at the moment. Oh, there it is. There's that little thing. Nope. Bubble there though. Get rid of that. Can't see it. Maybe it was just, I think it was just a reflection of one of my little bits of gold dust. Okay. I am going to give that a spritz. So yeah, these are these flowers, and yeah, they sort of feel a bit spongy. So whether they're like ultra thin sponge, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like the silk flowers. And I just got these from Temu. Yeah, Temu, yeah, in a box of flowers. So I've just spritzed that with some alcohol, and I'm just going to sit it there. So with our other, it's only a couple of mils. It's not very deep at all. So we'll put our big roses in first. And these were actually, I think I showed you them before. They were on those, like, you know, the bendy sticks, and I've just snipped them off with my little snippers. So I'm expecting this rose to probably lose colour because that one did, and it was the same. Hopefully. Try not to move them around too much because we don't want to get bubbles, but we probably will. I'll try and get these pretty coloured ones in. Yeah, much easier working up the other way, but it's not impossible. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So we'll just go with it. I know that was up there before, but okay, yeah, we'll put it back up there. Why not? Try and put it up there. Unfold it under a bit. I'm going to make sure everything's not sticking up. Just snip this down a little bit. Hang on to my little piece so it doesn't fall into my resin. That little piece too. Get rid of those. Get rid of my random hair that I've just seen on my flowers. We'll try and stick some of these white ones in. So I need a bit of white in there. that over that side. And pop that down a bit. Yes, if you use your deep pour, because it takes longer to set up, so all those bubbles can come out easier. They've got more time to come out. Your resin's a lot thinner, so it just degasses really easily. And while it's degassing, you know, it takes so long to set up, so all those little bubbles sort of release. So it does take, it just depends on the resin, but generally, you know, it can take like up to probably 72 hours. Okay, so we've got some white, we've got a bit of that in. We need a little bit of greenery. Oh, actually, put some of this little baby's breath here and there. Add another spritz while we're going with the alcohol. We're just sort of filling up the gaps best we can. And we did want a little bit of greenery, didn't we? I might pop some of this in. It's all cut down a bit. Bit there. We don't want, you know, uniform, but we sort of want it. If we've got some on one side, pop some in the other. Got to look like we haven't just, you know, thrown them all in. That one there. I have another one of those, and I'll pop it down here. How are we looking? Maybe just another piece of greenery just over there. Oh, you're not going to see it in the middle, I don't think. Let me just turn that round. Put it there. Might be okay. I think you can always sort of, if you think you've got a gap, you can always just, you know, like lay something, fill the gap, and then you might see it from behind, or you might just want some negative space. Totally up to you how you do it. I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure my roses don't flip over. And I'm not too worried about, generally, if you do it in layers and it sets up and then you pour another layer, you'll get a line on the side. But I'm not worried about that because I'm actually going to decorate the sides. So if I wasn't decorating the side, ideally, that's, yeah, not the look that you would want. And I'm not going to fiddle with these anymore. If they're too long, when I come back and this is set up and it's not moving, I'll then snip them down if I have to. So I'm just going to leave it for now because I don't want to sort of move it around all the time because you can actually make bubbles. I'll give that another spritz and hopefully some of that alcohol will go down in there. And I'll see you in a few hours. Where is my little snippets? Oh, here we go. Somebody's taken them and not put them back. Lisa. I'm just looking at my little stems because I think they need a bit of a trim. But they're nicely embedded in the resin, but just got a layer, as I said, of whatever it was, an ounce, or it could be an ounce and a half. I can't remember. Now, where did that little hua go? Just flew off. It probably fell in. Oh well, we might have a floaty bit. Oh no, there it is. Yay. Okay, so while I'm pouring this, I thought I would, because I'm doing a review for the Airless Pro, and I just want to give you the facts. I don't want to give you all the BS that you don't understand or don't want to know. Just want to know if it works or not. So I thought I'll just compare it to my vacuum chamber. So when I first started resin, didn't even have one because I always used deep pour. So deep pour is pretty much basically useless in a Airless Pro or a vacuum chamber. But then, yeah, started to get some more resin, whatnot. Always wanted a vacuum chamber. Been doing resin for years, so you know. Always that clarity that you get, doesn't matter what you use, and you see, you know, like the experts doing things, just it opens the doors up to different things. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. So I just wanted to compare this Airless Pro, gorgeous machine that's sitting right here on my table, taking up hardly any room. And I'm looking at my vacuum chamber here on the floor, which is taking up probably 3 times the amount of room. And if you're not technical savvy, like using gadgets, machines, power tools, you might not have a husband or someone that can help you set it up. Don't go for a vacuum chamber. They come with hardly any instructions, and yeah, you'll just go, what the hell? Because I've always done things for myself. I can use power tools, and I was a bit lost. And so if I didn't know the difference, I mean, price-wise, you can get cheap vacuum chambers the same price as the Resiners Airless. Get what you pay for. Mine's on the cheapest side. Mine smokes like there's no tomorrow. The Resiners Airless Pro doesn't smoke. My vacuum chamber is so noisy. The Airless Pro, you can still hear it, but it's nowhere near as noisy. The vacuum chamber, okay, takes less to get your bubbles out, whereas the Airless takes a little bit longer. But hey, it's sitting there doing its thing, not making noise or smoking, that's for sure. What else can I tell you? The new one, the Resiners, it fits more than the old one. The reason why I'm giving my old one away in my March subscriber giveaway, because I don't use it. I think I used it twice in its life because I always use deep pour. So I just wanted a vacuum chamber, so I saved and saved and saved, because as you all know, I don't get paid on YouTube. So I saved, went without getting my hair done, whatnot, to get my vacuum chamber. But yeah, no, it is good. But if I wasn't savvy and could work out how to use it, as I said, you don't get hardly any instructions, and what you do get are useless. Well, that's going with mine, so I presume they're all the same because I got it off Amazon, so just depending on your price budget. Good thing with the Resiners, you can actually talk. If you have a problem with it, you can actually talk to real people. I don't know who to get. If something goes wrong with my vacuum chamber, what, a ring Amazon, what, with the warranty? Like, I can just imagine the nightmare that's going to be. At least you can talk to a real person through Resiners. And price-wise, they're $70 off at the moment. That's a big sale. That's a huge difference. Plus, I've got a discount code. Take advantage of it, because it's a great time to get one if you've been thinking about, I personally love mine, and that's the reason. I love my vacuum chamber too, but it just suits me. I'm lucky that I've got a substantial size studio. I wouldn't say it's massive, where I can have my vacuum chamber on the floor, but I love how I can have my resiners on my bench, and it's at, you know, I'm not bending down to put my things in and out. You know, it's convenient, not taking up much room. So yeah, it's got lots of benefits. Yeah, I think it's awesome. So yeah, that's my little review. Apparently it's got a bigger motor. Woohoo! I'm excited. Like, yeah, I just didn't want to go through all the instructions. It's got a great instruction booklet. I have read it, but these are so easy to work, you don't even have to look at the instructions. Whereas, yeah, the vacuum chamber, I was YouTubing the heck out of that and putting cries for help out and just going, oh. And I know somebody did say they're having trouble with theirs, that they couldn't get it working. And I can't remember who it was. I wished I could, because I would let you know. Yeah, turn your handles the other way. It's, yeah, I finally worked it out, but nightmare, people. And I mean, I could have asked my husband, but he's never used one before, so he'd probably have more of an idea, because he, you know, uses, it's got like an air compressor on it, and we've got a massive one that works, you know, this and that and various tools. But yeah, you've got to keep putting oil, well, not keep, but you've got to keep the maintenance up with your vacuum chamber. You don't have to put oil in your Airless Pro, so that's another bonus. Yeah, if there's something I missed, something I didn't touch on, and you want to know, just leave me a message. And yeah, always get back to all my messages. I love replying to messages. Sometimes it might take me a while, or YouTube decides to put it, you know, hide someone's comment in through, like, right down the bottom. They just don't go in order, which is annoying. So you've got to scroll through all your comments again, and then you go, oh, I missed someone, sorry. Well, there's probably a way, but I just haven't worked it out yet. But yeah, so I do get back to everyone. Sometimes it might take me a little while. And then, yeah, if you have a popular video, wow, lots of comments to get through. Takes ages, but it's awesome. Love it. So thanks anyone that does comment on my videos. I really appreciate it. Love it. Love replying to you. Okay, so we've just put in another, I think that was 6 ounces. So yeah, just taking a bit of resin, but that's okay. Hopefully we're going to stay clear. As I said, you could probably get away with pouring this in one go if you had deep pour, but I don't. I generally do, but I just don't at the moment. So yeah. And yeah, I don't have my address out in my description box for all the crazies to know where I live, because I'm at home alone a lot of the time. Hubby's not here, so if you did want to do a little donation, my email's there. Just send me an email and I'll let you know where to send any donation, because any donation's appreciated on this channel. See, we don't get paid for this. We do it for the love. It's all about the love, people. All right, I've got to stop raving on. And I'll come back when I'm ready to pour the next layer. See you then. Okay, so this might be our last layer. I'm not sure yet. I've made up 8 ounces resin, and did you hear the Airless Pro? A lot quieter than the vacuum chamber. I'll try and remember to video that next time, and you can see how noisy and smoky it is. Okay, look. Nice and clear. So again, we can give our little mold a spritz. And I was actually thinking about putting a solid colour on the back of this one, just for a point of difference. That's 4. I think I'm going to leave it at that, perhaps, and then put on a colour for that last little bit. You reckon? I just thought because it's hands, we might see the hands a bit better if it's got a solid colour on the back, instead of being able to see all the way through it. And yeah, and that way it's different to my other one. So. Alright, well, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to pop this into something else. So I'll see you soon. Back again. So I've just made up another 6 ounces of my tea expert, my 1-to-1. So I've lost track of how much this took to fill up, but I'll work it out and I'll hopefully remember to pop it up on the screen so we know how much resin overall this takes. Of course, when you're adding things, it's a little bit less, and depending what you add too, but just a little bit of a rough ballpark figure just for you guys. So I've decided I will do a white background because I just want that point of difference so we can compare 2 love hearts. So I thought I would put in my powders and stuff, and then I'll debubble them, and then we'll pour. Alright, just want to pop all this into a disposable cup. Us creators like to reuse our plastic cups because they've got the measurements, which is handy because some resin, that's how you measure your ratios, as you know. I'm not sure when I'll have this video out, whether it'll still be in the March subscriber giveaway, but not long to go now. How exciting! 4 more days at the video of this section. I can't wait to see who wins. And you guys do realise that I now have the INTORESIN mould as well as the runner-up prize. So if you haven't subscribed, get in while you can. Go back and like all those videos. And if you want to know exactly what to do, jump on to my description box. Well, jump onto it, but go and check it out. And right down the bottom is the details for the competition giveaway, which I think I'll be drawing sometime in the first week of April. Not sure of the date yet because I'm super busy. Oh, sorry, I was just having a sip of my wine. I haven't had a wine for ages, so must be feeling much better now. Okay, so I want to put this little spoon of our gold dust because we need to have a little bit of sparkle. Got to be really careful with this stuff because it can overpower. Seeing this is going to be the background and it's going to be in white, you can sort of get away with a bit more. I've got a heaped spoon. Plus I want to try this new powder out. It's an interference red. I haven't used it yet, so I want to see what effect with the gold dust. Look, sealed. So I must say, a bit disappointed because my other 2 that I got, I'll show you, weren't sealed, and that I swear they're half empty. Look at that. That's how it came. I wonder they were on sale, but I think I better contact the company. And that one not sealed either, which has a little bit more than the green, but super super pretty colours. Got spring green, flamingo pink, and the Pearl X is really sparkly generally. So I'm going to do a heaped spoon and we'll see how we go. And of course, yes, I'm mixing it up the wrong way. But you guys know how to do it the right way, don't you? So I have to be super careful and give it a good mix. Because I know a lot of you guys are beginners, so you like to see every stage. And I generally fast forward this bit, but I won't because everybody else can fast forward. And you can see how chunky it is because I should have put a little bit in a cup first with a little bit of resin, mixed it up really good, and then added my clear. Much better way of making sure your powders and things are mixed in properly. And I'm trying to get into the habit of doing that because I'm in the really bad habit of not doing it, as you can tell. Oh, how pretty is that? So it's interference. They're like a creamy white colour, generally in mica powders, and you can get red, so it's got that red tinge, or you can get blue or green or purple. Yeah, there's all sorts of different interference colours. It just depends which brand you go for. Some tend to be better than others. Every now and then you can get like a good El Cheapo from Temu and surprise yourself at it being awesome. Does happen. But yeah, this one's from Pearl X. So I've got lots of Pearl X. We sort of, when I first started resin, which was many moons ago, here in Australia, we're sort of limited as to what we can buy here in Australia. And when I started resin, you know, it wasn't as popular as it is now. So there wasn't many things available. Things, I shouldn't say things. There wasn't many stores that sold resin products. Well, like there's always been art stores, but now there's ones just specifically for resin and, you know, a few other bits and pieces. Okay. So generally what I like to do is, you know, leave it for 5 minutes. If there's any unmixed powder, it will rise and you'll see it sitting on the top, and then you can give it another stir. But I'm going to split this and put it in the Airless Pro debubbler. Get all the bubbles out, and then I'm going to come back to you guys and we'll pour this. See you soon. Actually, I tell a lie. I'm going to pop it in the vacuum chamber and you can hear the difference of the noise. Okay? I said I was going to do that and I nearly forgot because I'm so professional. Hi everyone. So this is my floor in my studio. So I've set you up because I think it was Cheryl wanted to know how to use her vacuum chamber. So hopefully she'll be able to see. Hi Cheryl. I think it was Cheryl. So that's my resin. Oh, doing this a bit. Oh, what am I doing? Lacey, you've got to put your resin into the machine first. Oh, under pressure because everyone's watching me. Okay, so put my resin in. that's my little valve, so you won't be able to see that. Cheryl, if you're watching. So I've got this one facing, that's the valve, which you can look at. This one's facing that way. That one, the red one, is facing the filter end, so it's like that. Okay, so this is how I do it. Don't know if it's right, but so I turn it on, and then I turn these. I turn that one that way and that one that way. So I know the lights are pretty crappy. But can you see the smoke coming out of that? Whew. Smoking everyone out. It's pretty noisy, hey? Hopefully you can see. I'll zoom it in. So with your vacuum chamber, you're basically watching it. You're watching the bubbles. Whereas with the Airless Pro, like you set it 5, 10 or 15 minutes and it just switches itself off. Just got to be careful, like depends how much resin you've got in your cup, because it can go over. So you should watch it anyway. But so your vacuum chamber doesn't have, you know, your AI feature. And yeah, so you can see how much room, sort of, it takes up. Like I can't just have that sitting on my art desk. It just takes up way too much room. So it's on the floor. Not the most ideal spot, but you're not doing this tour of my studio just yet. There's crapperoni everywhere. This is a proper art studio. You know, the messy artists. Yeah. I don't know where everything is if I need it. It's just overloaded with Temu stuff. Oh, no, I've got to put shelves up. You know how it is. There's never enough time in the day. So I thought I'd run the whole lot of this because, well, I suppose you guys might want to see it. I don't know. I know it's a review for the Airless Pro, but this is a difference. And you've seen my sexy socks and my feet, so you can see the size of it. So yeah, lots of bubbles because it's got the mica powder in it. So it's been like, you know, say double stirred. Generally, if you put your clear in, it's only that first lot of stirring. So you generally have less bubbles. And it usually is quicker. I usually only have it in there for probably, I never time it. I never time even when I'm stirring my resin. If I stir it or if it's getting mixed with the Resiners jewel mixer, I just go, oh yeah, that's 3 minutes or that's 4 minutes. I used to always get Google to put a time limit on it, but you just sort of get to the stage where you know. There's no streaks and, you know, sometimes I must stir it for 10 minutes because I'll be, you know, watching something or doing something else or procrastinating, you know, as you do. And go, oh, okay, I think it's ready. So yeah, lots of bubbles. I think it stopped smoking. So I don't know what the go is with the smoking. I haven't heard of anyone else's that smoke. So I'm thinking I probably might put too much oil in it. I don't know. But with the Airless Pro, you don't have to put oil in it. You do with your vacuum chamber. So it's a bit more maintenance. You've also got your filter there that you've got to change. Don't have to worry about that with the Airless Pro. So if you're not, yeah, I don't know, if you're not doing resin all the time, like most crafters, because it's different for us creators, you know, we're into it all the time. Yeah, I'd be probably really more likely to go with the resiners. Plus, you know, if it's late at night, which it is now, hubby's asleep, you know, and I've got this noisy thing going. Plus my neighbours, they must love it because their bathroom window is just opposite my studio window. Just a bit awkward sometimes. So yeah, usually I don't have this, it's never this long when I'm doing just my clear. But that's okay. It's getting rid of all those bubbles, which we don't want. And most of them will go, like you can wait for that to be clear, or once I start letting the pressure off, most of those bubbles will go, if not all of them. Yawn! Are you asleep yet? Okay, so I'm going to switch it off because over it. So what I do, I just release that one and then this one slowly, and your bubbles will start to see them going. So you want to do this one slowly, so the air that's sort of going there to unlock it, it's sort of blowing on your resin. So switch it off, and then that should be locked off, and see, it looks clear, even though it was so bubbly before. Okay, now hang on, I'll just put this up. So size difference. Now I've only got a small foot. I'm a size 6, ladies. This is the size of this hoop. Can't remember what litre it is. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description box. And this is quite heavy. So yeah, that's the difference, peeps. And I have this towel on the floor because I always cover it with a towel. I don't know why. All right, I'll quickly move this camera. And back again. The magic of videoing. So what did you think, guys? There you go. That's the vacuum chamber. So let's just pour this. Actually, no, I shall lie. Let's give it a spritz first without alcohol. So yeah, this colour is pretty luscious. So really, if you wanted to, you don't have to fill up, because this is going to be the back anyway. So you don't really have to fill it all the way up if you didn't want to. So it's probably going to take all that cup as well. Because yeah, it's pretty opaque, so if it was clear, it's a different story, but I'll show you. Let's pour this one in. So yeah, it's quite a deep mould, this one. That's substantial. So I'll just let that settle for a sec. Okay, so this one is a little bit bigger. Sorry about that glare, guys. Let me just wipe my hands, make sure I've got no resin in them. I want to get resin on Mum and Dad. Goodness. Let me just. Oh, sorry. So it's a bit better. A few things out of the way. Just pop a bit of paper towel down. I'm paranoid now. I'm going to get resin on this one because you don't want that. So when I flip this one over, and this is the back, that's quite dirty. So you can see how I did this one, that there is a couple of bubbles trapped, but you don't see them. And I hot glued the flowers because they're they've been cut off, you know, the stick. So they're not flat. As you can see from these ones, they're rounded. So I just hot glued them in place, then poured my resin. Yeah, but that was deep pour, so, well, I did do it in 2 stages from memory, and it flash cured because I ran out of deep pour, ordered some, and it was a new resin, and they said it was deep pour. But guess what? No, it wasn't deep pour like I was used to. Anyway, I got my money back, so that was alright. Because, yeah, we all know how expensive this hobby is, but it is worth it. So yeah, can you see all the bubbles coming up? Little blotting marks on this. Just noticed I've got something must have landed in my top coat at some stage. Not that you'll see it. The beauty of having the gold dust or the diamond dust with that little bit of sparkle, it sort of hides imperfections. Plus it's super pretty. But yeah, can you see how that flower faded? It just changed colour. It was more that purple. So it could have been because of the alcohol. Sometimes that will, if things have been dyed, you can remove the colour. It can also be because of the resin, because all resins are different. So yeah, and you know, because resin does heat up too, so I'm sure that affects a lot of things. This needs a very good clean with some window cleaner or something. Okay, how are we looking over there? Let's get rid of those. Now, you don't have to use alcohol, you can use a long neck lighter. You could probably use your torch in this one, but not much those flowers. I'm just so used to using alcohol, so you can use your heat gun. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. These, I don't get into the habit of using these. A lot of creators do. If you can't control that flame, these are super hot, and you don't want to be putting these anywhere near cheapo molds. They do not mix. Alright, well, I'm going to sit here and watch my bubbles. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that. So, come back when we are ready to demold. See you soon.